Never heard him talk about oversight of the Antiquities Act of 1906, and I don't think they so much care, but it is actually of concern to some regions around the country, and some lawmakers have been asking President Trump since the transition, I believe, to see whether there was overreach in these previous designations, and to see if some of them can be scaled back. That's that's not without controversy, of course. There'll be environmentalists and tribes in some of these states that will object, but I think more importantly, it's another thing to do this week. The president has ridiculed what he called the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days marker, but he took it seriously during the campaign, and I think he wants to end the week on Saturday at the end of the 100 days with great fanfare, having had a really busy week doing a lot of different things and being active, and I think that this is just another one on the list.
One of the National Monument designations guy was Bears Ears National Monument in Utah, 1.35 million acres, right. That Barack Obama sort of waved his pen and said, you know, no mining, no logging. It's a national monument now, and even the local authorities, the governor was not happy about it. Orrin Hatch certainly not happy about it, and that's part of the reason apparently that President Trump is taking a second look.
Yeah, and it's just a review for now. I think that's important to restate. And you're absolutely right. Some of these orders in the past and designations in the past, including that unilateral move from Obama in the second term, disproportionately impacted the people of Utah. And Utahns have representatives in Congress who have been lobbying the Trump administration to look at this and maybe make a change because they don't like how this impacts their state. And so you mentioned Senator Hatch. He's not saying that the entire protection should go away and that there are no lands within that area that deserve special protections. He said exactly the opposite. He said they should be protected, but not quite as broad a stretch of land. It's just way too much. And he's hoping that the Interior Department will rein that in a little bit. To me, that seems like a reasonable request, and it seems sensible to have this review.
I think so.
Hello everybody, Johnny Jet Rod here. So I hope you guys heard what they were talking about. They're talking about this designation that that President Obama did on national park land. So we're just going to talk about that for a second, okay? Okay, so we're talking about national parks. I believe that national parks are a sacred part of our country and that they need to be protected, along with, you know, several other things. The environmental impact of placing public use onto these national park areas needs to be regulated. But the thing about it they're talking about is that President Obama greatly expanded the area in several states, and that particularly in Utah, you have this area that has grown in national park size, and President Trump wants to roll that back and open it up for public use, meaning like maybe putting some industry in there or whatever they plan to do with it. And they were stating on the news there that several Republican lawmakers from Utah have been lobbying President Trump to go ahead and make a review. So really, let's don't get confused here about this. This executive order is not to open it up automatically. It is to conduct a review. I know a lot of Democrats that are going to go ahead and get blown way out of whack over this thing. This is just a review of the use of this land and how it impacts the state, and what can we do with it, or should we keep it the same. It's simply a review, so don't get yourself all worked up over this. Nothing is going to happen yet until the review is done. However, I believe that in some areas of the country, these national parks, I've seen almost every national park in the country. They are beautiful places. I've traveled a lot throughout the United States. But I believe that these national parks need to be protected. However, if we have expanded the area, then I believe that it would be up to the people of that particular state to decide what they want to do with that particular area, and then lobby the federal government to make a decision. So the people in Utah have some thinking to do, and these other states. So anyway, that's just my short report on that. Right now we're waiting for President Trump to come out and sign 6 executive orders talking about tax and healthcare. So we're going to go ahead and try to get to that. My name is Johnny Jetrod. If you want to support this channel, my PayPal account is linked at the bottom. Go ahead and support this channel. As always, thank you, America.